Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is John Phillips, co-founder of PredictIt, the stock market for politics. And John, it's great having you with us for almost 2 months now as we make our way through the election and we start to understand what the new administration's going to look like. Before we get into some of these bets and who the politics pickers think are going to be there, remind us about PredictIt.
Sure. PredictIt is a universe of about 150,000 U.S. traders who are participating in what we call stock market of politics. These are $1 winner-take-all contracts where you can predict that an event is going to occur or not occur. And the price of that contract varies from 1 cent to 99 cents based on what the odds are as expressed by these traders. So you bet on political events, in essence, and that's what we do at PredictIt.
All right, there certainly is a market for everything that's out there. And John, we've been covering this together since, a few weeks before the election, how it's played out, and the predictions have been pretty on point. What are the politics pickers thinking now in terms of what Biden's administration is going to look like?
That's a great question, because there's many different directions it can go in. And in politics, the saying goes, before the election, you fight with your enemies, and after the election, you fight with your friends. And there's the fight with the friends and the enemies now for the Biden picks, but that's to be expected. The cabinet picks are the most interesting because there are factions that are interested in solidifying their support as well as advancing a policy agenda. And the first one is Mayor Pete, who was very active in the Biden campaign, like others. There's a question as to whether he's going to get a cabinet pick by March 1st. And those who say yes are at 29 cents. Those who say no are at 71 cents, although that no vote eroded by 3 cents overnight. Buttigieg is being considered for the Veterans Affairs or for United Nations ambassador, of course. And some of these are going to be settled before this show airs. Also, Elizabeth Warren, it's really interesting. She has avid supporters, but also those who think that her confirmation would run into trouble. She was considered for Treasury, and there might be other cabinet picks. But the governor in the state of Massachusetts is a Republican, and if she were to vacate that seat, the Democrats would risk losing would lose that Democratic seat to a Republican appointment. And the last one is Klobuchar. Klobuchar is, Elizabeth Warren, to recap that, only 4% odds that she's going to get picked. She'll be in the cabinet by March 1st. And with Klobuchar, she's only 6% odds, yes, 94% no, that she'll have a cabinet slot. Then you get to who will be announced as Kamala Harris's intended replacement in the Senate. And Alex Padilla is leading significantly by 67%. Odds that he will be the pick to replace Kamala Harris. Of course, this is a huge battle with various factions trying to advance their man or woman into this appointed Senate seat. Karen Bass is second at 12 cents. And then there are other potential contenders all under a dime. Which party will win the U.S. Senate special election in Georgia in 2020? So the odds on is that the Republicans will win. That's at 66%. The Democrats at 37%. These don't necessarily add up to exactly a dollar, but they works out in terms of the way the market is structured. So 66% odds that the Republican special will go to the Republicans. And then two more. Trump will file for presidency before 2022, meaning he will file the paperwork needed to run for president before 2022. What do you think the odds are on that?
You know what? I would bet 100% that he will use the next 4 years for campaigning, so his voice is still out there. That I'm confident in.
Right. Well, I think that's probably 100% odds. He's pegged by predicted traders at 62% odds that he will file for president before 2022. So better than even odds that he will file to run for president before 2022. And then the last one, which party will win the 2024 U.S. presidential election? Believe it or not, there are traders already trading on 2024. But the odds are very close. 51% odds that the Democrats will win in 2024 presidential election, 49% odds that the Republicans will win, and then 2% for the Libertarians, 2% for the Greens. So it's a neck and neck race for the 24 US presidential election, and it hasn't even been 4 weeks since the 2020 election.
And you know what, John, I just keep thinking in my head as you're talking about this, that we finally got done with all the political ads. We can kind of take a breather here, but it doesn't sound that's going to be the case, especially if you have, one candidate focusing on campaigning for the next 4 years. So it will be interesting to watch, as always. Great to have you with us on Trade Talks. Thanks for joining.
Great to be on. Thanks, Jill.
You got it. And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.